Shalom Aleichem to everybody. We're going to continue with our Igeret Ramban. The Ramban continues to say, when a person removes himself from anger, then a person will truly become humble. In order for a person to become humble, he has to remove anger from within himself. A person can never be humble if he has issues with anger. The Chachmei Musar tell us that the angry person suffers from a sense of inferiority. Meaning to say that a person who loves attention from other people, he has yet not found himself. A person that always looks for other people's attention, for other people giving him, in order for him to be able to feel him, that's a person who never really found himself. He's unaware of his true worth. He has no self-esteem. He depends on other people's opinions. He cannot function if he doesn't have other people's opinions. He hungers for praise. He always wants more praise, more appreciation. And if he doesn't feel praise and appreciation from people, he feels worthless. He feels like it's not worth anything. When people don't give him the proper kavod, he feels helpless. And therefore such a person becomes angry. And when a person feels helpless, and when a person feels like he needs other people in order to make him feel who he is, otherwise he gets angry, such an individual tries to become a controlling individual. Sometimes people think, humble is just something that a person is very, quiet and doesn't talk and so on and so forth. That's not true. Humble is a true internal sense of a person, how he feels about himself, how a person is within himself. We'll give different signs of a humble person as we go on. It says an angry person can never become a humble person. His anger demonstrates the fact that he's not content with life, that life failed to give him his expectations. A person that's angry is showing that it's disappointed, something is lacking, his life didn't give him what he expected, something is not going his way. His pride is wounded. He seems to he wants to compensate, he wants to make up for this wound that he has, that he's being angry from. And he goes and he wants to put his own opinion before other people. He wants to put himself above other people. People like that, they're usually people that feel low about themselves. That's why they want to put themselves above other people. When a person removes himself from anger and slowly comes to remove anger from within himself, that's when he comes to humility. That's when a person will come through pure anava. And when a person has true humility, it doesn't make a difference whether to him people give him kavod or people disgrace him. It's the same thing for him. When a person within himself, he's a respected person, respects himself, he honors himself, he understands his own self-worth, he's not bothered by the opinion of other people. Other people's opinions, other people's feelings towards him, don't drive him, don't disbalance him. He's not concerned to be bothered by everything. He doesn't need kavod everywhere he goes. These things are for empty people. One time, a father and a son were walking, and they saw a wheat field, and in this wheat field they saw stalks that were full, but they were all bent. And then they saw stalks that were empty, but they were standing straight, right? So the son didn't know. He asked the father, why are the ones bent? Are they dead? And the ones that are standing, those are alive? The father told him no. He said, the ones that are full are the ones that are bent. The ones that are empty are the ones that are standing out. It's the same way with people. Humble people don't stand out. Humble people have true worth within themselves. They know what they're worth. They don't need to show what they're worth to other people. They don't need other people's opinions. They don't need other people's praise. They don't need other people to bring them up. They're already highly elevated in themselves. They have true soul, true worth for themselves. A humble person is not a person who thinks nothing of himself. That's an arrogant person. Because when a person thinks nothing of himself, he's never happy. He always wants kavod, and he wants attention, and he wants to bring himself above other people when he thinks nothing of himself. He can't accept that he doesn't get the honor and so on and so forth. But when a person truly feels content with himself, then that's when a person can come to anava. That's when a person can come to humility. Humility means I can know that I'm great. I can know that I'm smart. I can know whatever it is, whatever advantages that a person can have. A person could be a doctor, could say I'm the best doctor in the world. I know it. But it's a gift from God. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave me this ability. Right? Humility doesn't mean you don't acknowledge your greatness. When you don't acknowledge your greatness, you don't appreciate the gifts that God gave you, that's not humility. That's called a lack of self-esteem. That's called being ungrateful. That's called not healthy emotion. That's not called humility. Humility means I know the gift that God gave me. I know that I'm smart. I know that I'm successful. I know that whatever else it might be that a person is. But a person at the end says, I also know it's all from God. It's all a gift from Hashem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave me these opportunities to fulfill my purpose in life. And this is a part of my purpose that Hashem gave me. A person has to acknowledge and recognize all of his greatness and appreciate it. That's true humility. And when a person has that and he feels that, then a person doesn't need other people's opinions. He doesn't need other people to look up to him. He doesn't need other people to give him kavod. He himself is an adam mechubad. So that's what he says. If a person wants to become humble, he needs to remove anger. Because anger is sort of showing resentment. It's sort of saying, I'm not happy with something. Something's not going my way. I need other people to fulfill those gaps inside of me. And when a person needs other people to fill those empty gaps inside of himself, that person is always going to have anger issues. That person is never going to be able to fully be humbled. Why? Because he always needs other people's attention in order to be able to feel himself. A person like that cannot become humble, because that's still on the side of anger. It's still on the side of arrogance. Right? A humble person is somebody that's content within himself. And when a person wants to come to be humble, he has to remove himself from anger. Slowly remove himself from anger. As we mentioned earlier, how does a person remove himself from anger? He needs to not react to it. If a situation comes up, a person gets a little frustrated, don't react to it. Just like a military, right? One of the Bali Musar says, Michlam Eliyahu writes, that a person's tested like a military. They come to fronts, right? You win, you come closer. You win, you come closer. You win, you come closer until you completely conquer. It's the same thing, right? You win one, you came a little closer. You ignore your anger, slowly, until you have full control of yourself, and that's when you'll start coming to humility. And that's what the Ramban tells us. You want to come to humility? Remove anger from yourself. And then he brings different ways that you could tell a person that's humble. One, he says, a person that speaks gently. A person that speaks gently even to those people who are dependent on him. Family, employees, poor people. He treats everybody with equal respect and honesty. Right? He doesn't treat some people better than others. He doesn't feel like it's privileged to scream at one person and he has to give the other person honor. He has the same respect for every single person. He values a human being. That's one of the signs of humility. People that value other people. The next thing, if he gets kavod, he doesn't really care for that kavod. He doesn't react to it. It's not. He still feels like all these people giving me kavod. They don't know how far I am from really reaching my full potential or my full, that I need to accomplish. Or if a person becomes successful, the more successful that a person becomes, the more his devotion to Hashem and the more his devotion to other people's needs come. That's a person that's humble. When a person becomes more successful and he looks at more what he could do for Hashem, more that he could do for the people, and more to do for others. A humble person always thinks about other people. An arrogant person always thinks about himself. Right? And not only that, a person that's humble, no matter what happens, he always tries to make shalom with everybody, even if somebody did the worst thing to him. At the end of the day, deep down inside, he wants to make shalom with this person. He wants to make peace with this person. He always wants to be at peace with everybody. That's one of the indications of a humble person. Also, avoiding revenge. Sometimes a person wants revenge. A humble person, slowly, that want for revenge goes away. He doesn't want revenge. Humble people don't want revenge. Another thing, a person that's humble, he can accept the suffering in life without breaking his love for Hashem. That whenever a person goes through difficulties in life, if a person is an arrogant person, he says, how could this be happening to me? I don't deserve this, and so on and so forth. He goes on, and that's an arrogant person would react. And a person that's humble, he accepts whatever Hashem does for him. He says, it's not mine anyways. Hashem gave me everything that I have. My body is not mine. My soul is not mine. Everything I have is not mine. Everything I have is given to me from Hashem. Hashem didn't have to give me anything. Hashem could have not given me anything. Everything I have is all from Hashem. Hashem wants to give me certain suffering in a certain area. If that's what Hashem decided to be the right thing for me, then that's what Hashem decided to be the right thing for me. And a person accepts it with love. But that's a humble person. An arrogant person can't do that. An arrogant person will become defensive. He'll start reacting. Right? That's what he says. In order to come to humility, you must remove anger. It's a work, slowly, but you have to start somewhere in order to get somewhere. So that Hashem should give us bracha and tzachon and siyata d'shmaya to overcome the midah of anger and to reach the levels of humility that the Torah praises very much. The Torah says humility is the foundation to all good qualities. And arrogance and anger is the foundation to all negativity in a person's life. Have a good day.